watching Daily News Live, presented by Citi.
Hello and welcome to Daily News Live. I'm Chris Williamson. We're talking football. Who has the better future in the NFL, the Giants or Jets? How much would landing Le'Veon Bell help Sam Darnold? And we also talk with legendary boxer Lennox Lewis. Joining me to discuss it all are Willie Colon, Maria Marino, and Dan Graca. But first, let's kick things off with the Giants in the curious case of Odell Beckham Jr. He hasn't practiced all this week because of that bruised quad, but Pat Shurmur has repeatedly said the org would not shut him down the rest of the season, that is. Here's what Beckham had to say today.
If I can play, I'm going to play. It's just the bottom line, you know. You dreamed of being here. You dedicated, gave everything to be here. So you do all this to play games. You know, as much as fun as meetings are and all of the other stuff, like, you do all this to play games. So if I could play, I'm in there head first.
So Beckham wants to play, guys, but, you know, he's not 100% clearly, or else he would have played the last two games. Should he play or not? Willie, we'll start with you.
You know, to be honest, Odell's never given me a reason to question his work ethic or his motive. I think he's a high-intensity guy. I think we all understand that. But I also realize if we're being honest about it, OBJ is an investment where there was a lot of talk about getting him paid. They paid him. The Giants are heading in a new direction. That's the running game, right? That's going to be the central focus of this team going forward, obviously because you have Saquon Barkley. But I think because of the investment in OBJ, you got 2 games left. Why put him out there if personally he doesn't feel like he can go out there? Now, I do say this. If he feels like he can go out there, throw him out there. But I wouldn't force him out there. If anything, I definitely would shut him down for the last 2 games.
I don't think he would be forced to go out there, but I kind of make this comparison with Beckham the same as we're dealing with the Jets opponent for Sunday with Aaron Rodgers, right? There's a lot of debate as to whether or not he should play the last 2 games for the Green Bay Packers. My attitude is, you know what? You're an NFL player. You get paid to play 16 games. If you're healthy enough, if you're capable enough, go out there and play. So if I'm the Giants, if I'm Beckham, and barring what Willie said with the whole forcing, I don't think that they would force him to play. But if he's capable enough, go out there and play.
I'm totally with you, Dan. Obviously, if he's not fully ready, if he's not totally healthy, you can shut him down because the stakes aren't that high for the Giants. But what kind of example would that send? What kind of message would that send if he is able to play and he doesn't go out there and do it as one of the leaders on this team, much like Aaron Rodgers? I think it would be detrimental to that locker room if they see Odell, not able to play when he clearly can go out there and do it. He is healthy enough. He said the right thing. Coach said the right thing, being that, yes, if he's healthy, he will play. And I think it's important for that to happen. Yeah, but long term, I mean, this is a guy who you've invested so much money in, okay, over $90 million. And you're thinking about the future. Right. What happens if he gets injured? But what happens if he gets injured any day?
Any other game?
Well, no.
The playoffs are out of the question, though.
First of all, we're not talking about any other guy. This is OBJ. Let's put that in perspective. This is a guy who's supposed to be the game changer, a game breaker. He is the franchise. Yes, you have to treat him with white gloves, and you have to take care of him. I understand if he's 60% or 70%, I'm still not throwing him out there. He has to be 100% for me because I don't want this lingering into the offseason when we're really going to need him to be in the building around other young guys to be a workhorse example.
But conversely, you're right. He isn't just any other player. He is Odell. And those other players in that locker room look to him. They look to him as a leader. And I do think it's important for that winning culture that I believe Coach Shurmur has done a good job this season of instilling, considering the effort that
we see it all the
regardless.
time. Star players can lead from the sideline. And particularly if you have a voice and you are a figure, he can be a guy who there's a couple guys on the roster who haven't got the time of day. OBJ can coach him through that. It's all about protecting OBJ because he's a big.
But look at Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is more important to the Green Bay Packers than Odell Beckham is to the New York
100%.
Giants, right? I mean, and Aaron Rodgers going out there and playing. Packers are playing for nothing. So if he can go out there and play, and the other thing too, if you just want to look at wide receiver, all right, Jerry Rice is the GOAT, the best who's ever done it. That's the bar that probably Odell and all these other guys look to aspire to. I don't remember Jerry Rice sitting out meaningless games in week 15 and 16 when the Niners had everything wrapped up all those years. Go out there and play.
Agreed.
All right. That's fair enough. It's a very contentious debate. Now, moving to the Jets. Is a marriage between the Jets and Le'Veon Bell becoming more inevitable? Defensive tackle Steve McClendon, who played 3 seasons with Bell in Pittsburgh, told the Daily News Wednesday, quote, "If you get him here, I know one thing about him. Quote, when he steps foot in the building, you're going to get 100% from the guy. If anybody gets them on their team, they're going to get a hell of a player. Just know that he's going to bring the best out of so many people. Just imagine he'd be the Jamal Adams on offense, loud, energetic, confident, and he's going to make plays." Now, the kicker is Bell liked to post on Instagram that had the quote. So how much would Bell add to Sam Darnold for his development?
Well, he would add a lot, certainly. I think he is a game changer. He's only 27 years old. I think what the issue is for Le'Veon Bell, you know, he kind of took a stab or a jab, if you will, at the Jets around this time last year, kind of indicating it would take a lot for him to come there. But the Jets do have a lot of intriguing things. I mean, it is New York. They have money to spend. They have a young quarterback in Sam Darnold. So I think that, combined with the fact that the Steelers didn't really blink when Lev Bell held out, and they did have some serviceable production from backup running backs, I think might have brought the expectations of Lev Bell a little bit down to earth. But like I said, the Jets aren't an unattractive destination for a free agent right now.
Well, listen, I think Le'Veon Bell has to be extremely careful. When he was in Pittsburgh, he was playing, there was 3 guys on the offensive line that are all Pro Bowlers, right? He's going to a Jets offensive line with no Pro Bowlers. So I think he has to put things in perspective. Honestly, money talks, big city, but you're talking about no offensive line right now. You're also talking about no head coach. You're also talking about a guy right now from all standards, seems like, the narrative is that he's a selfish player. So he has to come in with a workman-like attitude, figure out if he really wants to be in New York for the right reason and not just for the money, because New York is a hard market to play in, and particularly when the spotlight's on you. So for me, I want Le'Veon Bell to take this thing slow and continue to go slow it. Because if it doesn't fit him and what he's trying to do for the future, take it over to Indy.
I would expect the Jets to have some interest in Le'Veon Bell, as well as a lot of other capable free agents out there, because they do need a lot, right? They have a lot of available cap space, and you expect Mike Maccagnan to be active, to go out there and infuse some talent onto the offensive side of the ball. Like Willie said, I think the offensive line is going to be a target. They're going to look to bring in a game-breaking wide receiver to help Sam Darnold down the field, and I'm sure Le'Veon Bell is going to be part of the equation. Couple of schools of thought, though, with Bell. Number one, he sat out an entire year, so you're getting somebody with fresh legs who rested this entire season.
Right.
The other thing is, he sat out an entire year, which means money meant more to him than playing football this season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I don't know how necessarily that's going to play in the locker room, Willie, because that's already something on his resume, which also includes a suspension for off-the-field stuff with the drugs, which means if he gets popped one more time, he's gone for good. That's also something.
Well, also, listen, as far as that's a character flaw, and hopefully he's done with that and he can mature. He's going to be brought in to be a leader. And I think to Steve McClendon's comments, you understand how much Jamal Adams means to this team on defense, right? Now imagine getting another guy like that on offense with a young quarterback, a stud receiver, a guy like Quincy Newell, you bring him back. Now you're talking about building an offense for the future. Le'Veon Bell gives you stability, and he gives you play action ability because you can put him in the slot, you can put him in the backfield, you can put him in multiple fronts. He's a big-time need. And I like him. I just want to make sure his head is on straight, and only he can answer that.
The Jets do have a lot of needs. You brought up the offensive line. So, yeah, would this be the be-all, end-all in, like, fixing the Jets' issues? No, but like you said, because he's so dynamic, he would be like Sam Darnold's best friend. I mean, just having that option, being able to be a pass-catching back, being able to run the ball, just all of those things. And in his defense, I understand the idea about, like, potential character flaws and being able to sit out a season, but we also know that the NFL has sort of this theme where sometimes players don't get compensated the way they believe that they should in comparison to, say, the NBA or MLB. So I really don't blame him for trying to get what he's worth. We'll see if the Jets are the right destination, and we already mentioned $100 million in cap space that they have able to spend.
I know going forward, if you got a young quarterback like Sam Darnold, you got 2 safety nets, right? You got Chris Herndon and possibly Le'Veon Bell. You can't actually, for a market like this, you can't actually. And
if you're talking about a Jamal Adams for the offensive side of the ball, they have that guy ready. It's Sam Darnold. He's the leader of the offense, will be going into year 2. They're set there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see if the Jets are able to land Le'Veon Bell going forward. Now, up next on DNL, 3-time world heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis stopped by the SNY studios today and had this to say when I asked him how he would fare against guys like Fury and Wilder. Take a listen.
I'll knock them all out. I'll knock them all out.
Guess what day it is?
Holy smokes.
Hey, Kurt. Are you watching the best of Geico?
I sure am, Linda. They've been saving folks money for years. And now they're re-airing some of their all-time greatest hits with classics like Hump Day, Caveman Airport, and even Celebrating Squirrels.
This crudité is great, but those Geico ads are even better.
But that's not all. Vote today and you can enter for a chance to appear in an upcoming Geico commercial. Just visit geico.com/beststuff.
Oh, Geico.
You are the best thing. You are the best thing ever happened
K&G is your dress-up headquarters for the holidays. Designer suits are buy one, get two free. Buy 2 suits separate jackets and get 2 pants or 2 vests for free. Plus, Van Heusen dress shirts are just 2 for $35. Get great holiday looks for less at K&G.
Who says being cheap is a good thing? We do. Cheapaware.com. There's nothing wrong with being cheap, with having fun, with saving money. So go ahead. Be smart. Be cool. Be cheap. Just download, click, or call and save on the best flights, hotels, cars, and more.
Cheapaware.com.
Go ahead. Be cheap. The Daily News. Sports coverage for New York fans at nydailynews.com. Tonight, the crew breaks down Sam Darnold's hot start to December. Plus, a look at the rookie's similarities to his counterpart in this week's matchup on Jets Game Plan, presented by Centenary University. Tonight at 6:30, only on SNY. All things New York sports, all on one site, with easy access to up-to-the-minute news on all of your favorite New York area teams, only on SNY.TV.
Welcome into the SNY studios. I'm joined by 3-time heavyweight world champion Lennox Lewis, and let's get right into it. First of all, thanks so much for joining us, Lennox.
Thank you.
And you're in town to analyze big boxing matches between the Charlo twins, the identical twins, who are both the title holders, you know, in middleweight and junior middleweight. They're going up against Matt Korobov and Tony Harrison. What do you see being the difference or the key for them being able to overtake all those guys?
Well, you know, this is a chance for them to, you know, show how great they are, and you know they've got to be great because they're, you know, they're both champions, and everybody that's going to come up against them want to beat them. You know, they're sitting high right now, and everybody they step in the ring with is coming there to beat them. So they're in for some tough fights, and we're going to have to see how well they do.
You saw the big fight between Wilder and Fury.
Yeah.
It was incredible how Fury still managed to get up after Wilder seemed to knock him out into another stratosphere. What did you make of that draw? Did you think Wilder was, you know, kind of robbed, or did you agree with the decision?
I don't know. You know, you ask a lot of different people, and you get different theories behind the fight. I thought it was a great fight for boxing. It's one of those fights that gave you everything. It gave you a lot of drama in it. It gave you some good boxing. When you think it's going one way, it's going the other way. When you think it's gone one way, it's not. You know, he wakes up and he wakes up from the dead basically and starts fighting again. So those kind of fights are great for boxing. People love to see those kind of fights, and this is what people love about boxing, the drama of it.
What was your first thought when you saw Fury, wake up from the dead? Because I'm sure you thought, like everybody thought it was over.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was over. Deontay thought it was over, and I was shocked that the ref allowed him to come back into the fight, because I remember losing fights in the second round. The referee just waving me off. I'm like, I'm the champion, and this is only the second round, buddy. No, but this was, you know, in the Tyson Fury fight and Deontay Wilder fight, that was the last round, and they were taking punishment. He's been knocked down a couple times, and the referee still counted while he was like this. And he basically woke up and got up. Yeah. So, you know, the referee was really lenient in that fight against him, which there's some that's not lenient. They'll just wave it off straight away.
Yeah. So let's talk about your career. It's been very decorated, obviously one of the best all time. When you beat Evander Holyfield, that second match, what do you think it did for your legacy after that first draw?
You know, I think the first draw did something for my legacy, because people were actually able to see two fighters that they never seen in the ring before. They could hear everything. You know, when you go to the barber and get your hair cut, people are always saying, oh, well, you know, Holyfield's the best. No, Tyson's the best. So I just wanted to end all that argument. So when you're getting your hair cut, you can only hear Lennox Lewis is the best.
Let's shift over to the Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah.
You know, obviously you were at your prime. He was slowing down a little bit. Was there ever a point, because when I was watching the clips for this interview, you destroyed him. It looked like you took his soul. Was there ever a point that you felt sorry for him, or you're like, I'm just trying to knock him out?
You know, Mike Tyson has been my foe for a long time in that sense, and I know a lot of people always wanted to see the matchup between me and him. And, you know, this fight was like more of a get back for me in one sense, because we had a press conference before that and he bit me on my leg, and I was like, yo, I've never been bit by another human. And it's like, it got me upset. So, you know, going into training camp, he basically, you know, that was a fuel for the fire. And I just went out there just to, you know, this was the fight, this was my foe, this was a fight anticipated, everybody wanted to see it. You know, I just wanted to be the best that I could possibly be for that fight.
Now, what was it like to hear Muhammad Ali tell you, he said that you're the greatest one there is, like me? To have somebody of such status and somebody who's revered in the boxing world, what did that do for your spirit?
What it did for my spirit when Muhammad Ali said that, it like, wow, this man said this to me, it's great, you know, because we were actually in Toronto at the time, and he whispered, he goes, I used to be great, but now you're the greatest. I was like, no, you're still the greatest, Muhammad. That's what I told him. So it was a great honor, because obviously, you know, Muhammad Ali got me into boxing. I used to love seeing Muhammad Ali fight. If I didn't see the Muhammad Ali shuffle, I used to be upset. It's like, ah, man. But he would give you something else. They would give you something else to talk about the next day. So, you know, I always remember that.
All right, lastly, this current crop of boxers with Wilder, Fury, Joshua, how do you think you would compare if you were in the ring against them?
I'll knock them all out. I'll knock them all out. No, they're pretty tough. I mean, you know, these guys are bigger. You know, 6'9", 6'7", 6'8". You know, I'm only 6'5", so
only 6 foot.
I know that probably my boxing styles would probably mess them up a little bit, because I'm a five-dimensional fighter. So I know they've never seen a five-dimensional fighter. All of them are still two-dimensional.
Yeah, so you would throw a whole lot of combinations at them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Lennox Lewis, thanks so much
me.
for joining us.
Nice.
Three-time heavyweight world champion and the last undisputed champion. All right, both Saquon Barkley and Sam Darnold have been bright spots for their respective teams, but who has the brighter future? We'll discuss when we come back after the break.
Get to Joseph A. Bank for the lowest prices of the year and save up to 85% on everything in store. Suits $179, sport coats $99, dress shirts, sports shirts, and sweaters $29. Plus, take an extra 60% off clearance. The lowest prices of the year.
Catch Manhattan's only college basketball teams in action this season. Take the one train uptown to roar with the Columbia Lions. Get your tickets today. Visit GoColumbiaLions.com/tickets or call 888-LIONS-11.
This holiday, everything I asked for is already under the tree.
Tree isn't even up yet.
Ring in the holidays with great deals across the Buick lineup. Current eligible lessees get this low-mileage lease on this 2019 Encore for around $149 per month. Or current GM lessees get this 2019 Buick Enclave for around $349 per month.
The old saying, good things come to those who wait, is just that, old. Those good things, you have to get out there and chase them. We see it in the millions of people we fly around the world, all of them, living proof. Good things come to those who go.
And transmit.
Commence countdown!
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Blast off! Not one, not two, but 10 recliners to choose from, each only $299.
Bob's Discount Furniture.
Gift cards available at mybobs.com.
Time now for the editorial page. Both the Jets and Giants seasons are over regarding the playoffs, but looking ahead to the future, they have perhaps two generational studs in Sam Darnold and Saquon Barkley. When we look at what both teams have and could potentially get, in your eyes, Maria, which team has the better future?
I'll be honest, I don't feel great about either of these teams right now.
What? Even with all that cap space that the Jets have?
Yeah, the Jets have.
Sam Darnold?
The Jets have a lot of cap space. Look, I lean toward the Jets because I think the hardest piece of the puzzle is the quarterback, and I do think he is the franchise quarterback. But we alluded to it earlier in the program, Willie. Like, they still need a head coach. I'm not sure if Todd Bowles is going to be back, who's going to be there.
I can tell you.
There are a lot of.
I was
trying to, you know, be nice about it, but there are a lot of needs. I do still think there are going to be some growing pains for Sam Darnold, even though I do think generally his future is bright. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Listen, I like Sam, and I think obviously. What he's been able to do late. I think he just, personally for me, Sam has to show me more. But if you talk about the year Saquon Barkley has, there's no way in, you know, the free world you can think that his upside and what he brings to that team, and that from a leadership standpoint and a culture standpoint, this guy is the future. So I think for me, it's obviously Saquon just because of what he's been able to do this year. You have older guys in that locker room following a rookie. That means something. He's already a Pro Bowler. He's over 1,000 yards, on and on and on. And he says the right things. He's one of those guys that when he walks out the locker room, you don't worry about him. You know he's going to do the right things because he understands he wears the franchise on his chest. So for me, it's Saquon Barkley.
I think if you're just looking at teams, though, I still have to say the Jets right now, only because we still have uncertainty regarding the Giants' quarterback situation post-Eli Manning. I mean, Sam Darnold is not a finished product by any stretch of the imagination. Still has a lot of growing to do. Still needs a lot of help around him there on the football field. But I think the last 2 weeks specifically, and he's talked about it publicly with the media here, spoke to me in the locker room last week in an interview we did for the pregame show about just sitting back and watching Josh McCown, how much that helped him, seeing it from a different perspective. You saw the last couple of weeks still with a decimated offensive line, a decimated running back core, injuries to the wide receivers, the playmaking ability this guy has against a Houston Texans team, which is headed for the playoffs, going to win a division, J.J. Watt, Clowney and whatnot, still made plays, arguably his best game of the season, guys. Just a glimpse of what this guy's going to be able to do moving forward.
I also think if you look at Saquon, he's been able to steal the spotlight from OBJ. That's one in itself. I think if you also look at this offensive line has now built the confidence to produce. Now, they didn't have a good out on last Sunday, but you talk about a couple weeks prior to that, this offensive line was a no-show. They were able to kind of reboot and get going because of Saquon's ability to take it home.
To be clear, I was talking more about the future of each team than individuals. I've been clear on this program time and again. I adore Saquon Barkley. I think he was a great pick. I do not regret that the Giants picked him. So they're both going to have great futures, Sam Darnold and Saquon. Saquon's already a Pro Bowler. The flashes that we've seen from Sam Darnold, I think, are extremely encouraging just for that mental toughness. He obviously is a gamer. And so I would not be surprised if we see success, postseason success, maybe even a championship from Sam Darnold in the future. And Saquon, I believe, is a generational talent.
Saquon is great. He's having a phenomenal year. He's going to have a great career. Best running back I ever saw, though, in my lifetime was Barry Sanders. How'd those Lions teams do with having Barry Sanders for all those seasons? They won one playoff game. You need more than just a running back, especially in a quarterback-driven
But you have Odell.
Okay. You have Odell.
You have Eli. I mean, he's not going to get
But Eli's 38 years old. I mean, he's not going to play for 10 more years.
But if you're the Giants right now, there's no quarterback coming out this year that's going to wow you, right? So now you have Eli, and you shorten his passing attempts. You lean on the offensive line. You give Saquon the ball, and you have the play action. The Giants are kind of on the reboot. I like Saquon going for it because he's a generational changer.
All right, so we got both Giants and Jets as a future of the league. All right, now still ahead on the show, Zion Williamson makes his Madison Square Garden debut as a Duke Blue Devil. So how engaged will our panelists be by the freshman sensation for this game? We'll discuss right after the commercial break.
It's Play Ball Week on SNY. Teaming up with the Harlem Globetrotters, we provided local youth basketball leagues with grants.
A lot of the students are going to be excited when they see the uniform that we could purchase with our money.
Equipment donations, clinics.
This was one of those unique opportunities where we're all having such a great time.
And special Harlem Globetrotters Dream Day experiences.
I'm able to be out and showing everyone that I can do stuff again.
See SNY's Play Ball program, presented by Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Centers on Geico Sports Night, tonight at 11, only on SNY.
Sorry, but this new Dunkin' latte is too delicious to take away from my mouth. How's your day going, though?
New handcrafted medium cappuccinos and lattes for $2 from 2 to 6 p.m.
Happy holidays. Stock up on gifts at Men's Warehouse.
Now through Monday, take 60% off designer suits. Designer sport coats are $179, plus all dress shirts are $3 for $99.
You're going to like the way he looks.
New York men's baseball. Swung on and missed strike three.
Get your 2019 Mets ticket plan. Be here for all the biggest games. Choose from full season, half season, or 20-game plans. For a limited time, receive an authentic or replica Mets jersey with your purchase. Visit Mets.com/ticket plans or call 718-507-TIXX.
Got that new home edition and you're keeping it covered.
Ooh, coverages now. I can help with this. Got zone coverage, man coverage, combo coverages.
I don't know, Peyton. I think more like the coverage your Nationwide agent offers.
Oh, you want to go there? Home, auto, life, business, farm, boat, RV, ATV, camper, pet, motorcycle, your tour bus. Right. Did I mention farm?
Coming up on Loudmouth in honor of David Wright's birthday, we are having our cake.
And we're going to eat it, too, because that's what we do best on Loudmouth. Plus, we'll talk about, I don't know, some things going on in New York sports. Chris, do you want us to save you a piece?
Yes. Why is that even a question? Come on now. All right, time now for our editor's pick. Second-ranked Duke takes on 12th-ranked Texas Tech at MSG in what should be a highly anticipated game, mainly because of Duke freshman Zion Williamson, who will undoubtedly be the #1 pick next year. How well do you think he will do on the big stage? And are you pumped for this game? Dan, we'll start with you.
Well, I mean, anytime that you bring a marquee player like this to Madison Square Garden, which obviously is the place for basketball, professional, college, you name it, it's a nice introduction for New York fans who, you know, were dreaming a little bit about infusing some of that talent onto the big club here. I think on either side, either Brooklyn or Madison Square Garden would benefit having him, but I think he'd look good in a Knick uniform. Just me.
Yeah, I want him. I ain't gonna lie. If I gotta pick him up for the airport, I'll pick him up. Listen, Zion Williams.
He needs a ride. You gonna go get him?
Listen, I'll put on the chauffeur hat, whatever you need. Zion Williams special. Now, I think he has a lot more to develop, but you talk about size, mass, star power. The kid is absolutely a man-child. I'm in love with him. I hope he ends up in a Knick uniform.
The reason that this is exciting is because it's at the Garden, and Knicks fans are just dreaming about that lottery pick and seeing him in that Knicks uniform. But if you ask me, it's not a big deal otherwise. He plays for Duke, one of the top teams in the country. Every single game is the big stage for him. So to me, it's not that different.
But hold up. Madison Square Garden is not the same.
Really? Cameron Indoor is pretty.
You can't get a ticket to Cameron Indoor. You could probably get a ticket to that game tonight.
I'm going to buy a ticket.
Tell me about it. Trust me, I love the Garden, but it's like the same thing.
All right, we're out of time here. Great debate. Loudmouth is next. Have a great day.
In the game at the Harlem Globetrotters Live on a night filled with shooting stars. The one who shines brightest could be you.
Play New York and New Jersey this holiday season, December 27th through the 31st. Get tickets at harlemglobetrotters.com/NYC.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
The Daily News, sports coverage for New York fans at nydailynews.com. Tonight, Steve Gelb sits down with Wilson Ramos.
They have really good rotation that I can help to be strong.
How the new backstop will guide the Mets' big arms.
I want to bring that to this team.
On Mets Hot Stove, presented by Geico. Tonight at 10:30, only on SNY. All things New York sports, all on one site. With easy access to up-to-the-minute news on all of your favorite New York area teams. Only on